you got an animal living with you. So how are you going to communicate?
The first week I had her, I ran out to the store for 10 minutes. I came home, this was in September. She had gone through the screen door. About a week later, I put her in her crate, locked the crate. It's got 2 little locks on it. I came home, she was sitting in the window. I did speak with her foster mom down in Louisiana, and she said, Joanne, she's a Houdini. I'd also like to do some basic training with her. When I walk her, of course, if she sees another dog, all bets are off. And she's pulling and pulling and pulling.
Okay.
When I walk her, she stops directly in front of me to sniff something. I'm afraid I'm gonna trip right over her.
Yeah.
She doesn't know sit, lie down, nothing like that. And she likes to sit about a foot from me when I eat.
So this will go right behind her ears.
Sure.
So you want to put the slip right behind her ears, and then you take your tab and you kind of slide it down to make it nice and snug.
Got it.
All right, so what I'm going to do, you can hang out right there.
Will do.
I'm just going to give her some time to absorb and chew on the room a little bit, if you will.
Okay.
So she just needs like more direction and more leadership. She needs somebody to be like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Because right now she's scanning and she's trying to figure out what to do next. And I want to take that away from her in a positive sense of, hey, don't worry about it. You're good. So I'm going to introduce some leash pressure to her.
Okay.
Leash pressure is essentially teaching your dog how to communicate with you. So with kids, A, B, C, D, and then sentences, right? So we teach them the fundamentals of A, E, I, O, U, essentially.
Sure.
And then we teach them how to talk in sentences. With dogs, you got an animal living with you. So how are you going to communicate, right? We could talk until we're blue in the face and read them a good book, but they have zero idea of what you're saying, and it confuses them. The leash is like the first way to really teach her how to communicate. It's you're like a guitar, you're plugging into her to teach her, what you want her to do. And so in the very beginning, you want to teach her boundaries and limitations and do's and don'ts in order to tell her what she can and can't do, so she doesn't live this life of, what do I do? How do I do it? Where do I go?
And if we could take that anxiety away, that would be tremendous.
Yeah. And that anxiety, there's 2 parts to that typically. First part is, I've never had anything in my whole life. I've never had structure. I've never had guidance. I've never had attention as much as I'm getting. I've never had love. I've never had a bed. I've never had good food, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as somebody who does give that to them, they cling on them for their life. Like it depends on it, right? But the other part of that is just providing that leadership. The way that her mental mind is in your house is kind of like on vacation. Well, I don't know about you, but when I go on vacation after day about 4 or 5, I'm like, all right, I need structure. I can't just wake up and I just can't. Like I need that structure. I need what's on my schedule, what's on the agenda today. And then you extend that out to since September, right? And they just don't have that. So that's what the leash is gonna do. My goal with the leash is essentially to minimize any pressure, but in the beginning, there's going to be pressure. So in the beginning, I'm gonna like kind of like bumpers when you're bowling. If you have to use bumpers when you're bowling your whole life, you probably should learn how to bowl instead, right? So when I'm working with her and I'm handling her, when I give her pressure, that's to say, no, over here. No, over here. Hey, too fast, slow down. Kind of like a horse, right? We apply pressure because they don't understand English either. So that's the goal. And then eventually when she understands and it clicks and she, what we call in the dog training world, captures the behavior, she's gonna go, oh, okay, I know that now.
Sure.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So I'm looking for that loose leash, nice and relaxed. Hey, I'm paying attention to you type of stuff. Come. So this is what I call a tune-up or a calibration. Come, pop. So you see how she bounces off at the end of the leash and I give her that pressure? So the goal is, Queenie, come. Yes, good girl, nice job. Good. The leash is kind of telling you your story. Come. Pressure, 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 release. Okay? So it's, hey, do this. Queenie, come. Do it. Good. No pressure. Queenie, come. No pressure, good girl. I'm trying to teach you and her at the same time. Queenie, come. Yes, good girl, nice job. The heel command essentially is the dog at your heels. When you say heel, like a manual transmission, you go, hey, work. And then the brake or the neutral, we're done when I say we're done. Now what does that do? 2 things. Small end or the micro is it teaches her how to walk nicely on the leash. The bigger picture, the macro, is she gets more confident. She goes, oh, okay, cool. What do you want me to do next? And she'll go, oh, thank God, I didn't know what to do. Now I can see that you know what to do. Queenie, heel, pressure. Heel. Good girl, Queenie. I'm gonna take my left leg, I'm gonna turn into her, I'm gonna spin it around. Queenie, heel. Good girl. Inside turn. Okay, pay attention to the leash. Heel. Yes, good girl. Come on, good girl. Heel, inside turn. Slowing down. Good girl, nice job, Queenie. All right, you guys, if you like this video and any of the other videos that you see here on YouTube, then you're gonna love the No Bad Dog Members Club. The link is in the description below. You guys are gonna get the full version of what you're seeing here on YouTube, sometimes over an hour long, as well as all the uncut stuff we don't put on here and all the things in between, the seminars, the travel. Click the link below, it's $19.99 for the whole month, and you guys can learn a lot more about what you're seeing here in the videos. Now we're gonna work on your handling, okay?
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go over this for a second. So basically, when you take your leash, if your leash is relaxed, that means all is good on the other side of the end of the leash.
Okay.
It means the dog is responsive and paying attention and doing what we want. So that's the goal. It's gonna take a little bit of time. So it's kind of like fishing, is if you feel the other end of the line getting pulled on, you kind of pull back. So all you'll do is you'll say your name and ask her to heel,
Queenie, heel.
and then you'll move forward and just kind of walk with momentum.
Come on.
So let's come back, yep, come back this way.
Come
and
here,
then,
Queen.
yep,
Queen, heel.
and then walk, walk, walk.
Come on.
Good, and then you try to just look forward and pay attention to where you're going. If you're both looking at each other, who's driving, right? I don't want you to run into a post or a wall or anything. So what you wanna do, use your momentum. Walk with confidence.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like really just move through. Queenie,
Okay.
heel. So watch how I handle her. Good heel, Queenie, good heel. Nice job, good girl. Good girl, Queenie, good heel. Queenie, heel. Nice, good heel. One finger, good heel. Stopping. Hey, good girl. Good job, Queenie. So I want you to practice that. But remember, try to just like, say, I'm going to that wall.
Okay.
Now I'm going to that wall. And just try to feel her.
Yes. Heel.
Release your pressure, nice and relaxed. Good heel, that's perfect. If she starts to, see how she starts to like forge forward a little bit?
Exactly.
Two things.
Yes.
Create an invisible line at your feet.
Okay.
So again, it's kind of like,
Yes.
so when she gets to, it sounds like more like the Star Wars character there, but anyway.
Okay.
When you get to that point, when she gets here, you're gonna give her that pressure, bang, bang, bang right here as
Gotcha.
you're walking.
Okay.
The other thing you can do, a little cheat code there, is as you're walking and she starts to forge forward, just turn into her to cut her off. So as she moves forward and you're like, oh, I'm kind of losing it, cut her, get a little bit of back pressure,
Okay.
and then cut her off. And then she'll bang, hit your leg, and then you kind of move back forward like that.
Gotcha.
There you go. Good heel. There you go.
Heel.
Good heel. Good heel.
Good girl.
That's good. Now
Good
inside
heel,
turn,
Queen.
right inside to her. Yep, pull back just a little bit.
Okay.
Inside turn, heel. Now walk forward. Now put your arm down and stop. Basically, heel is teaching her how to walk nicely on the leash. But again, at the bigger picture, the macro is she's learning something. She's really developed, she's listening, she's checking in, she's engaged, she's wondering what's going on, and that will really help
With the
develop.
anxiety as well.
Yeah.
Thought so. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And then as you
Gotcha.
get better, your heel will become better and longer. And then also too, you'll be able to send her to her place and tell her to stay and all these things. But the very first thing that you should do with a dog that's developed some anxiety because of their bring up or their come up is to just teach them how to live. If you guys find this video helpful, do me a solid favor, like this video, leave a comment in the comments below, subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on all your notifications, and follow me on Instagram. The links are in the description below or right here on the screen. And I have the world's best judges over here. Show them, Abby, show them the best judges. So we'll go over what this is. So this is a Hermspringer's, the company. They're out of Germany.
Okay.
And the collar type is a prong collar, and the metal type is a Kurgan, so it's nickel free. Kind of looks like gold. It is pretty. So essentially what happens is on the slip right now is when she's pulling, you're applying pressure. It's a leash with action. So the leash and collar setup that you have there is a martingale with this. The only reason why this is good for safety, because the chewing.
Because she's chewing, yes.
The only problem with this is how heavy it is.
Yes.
Because dogs, what we're teaching her right now is pressure. So that is very light. This training leash is very light, and this is very heavy. So when you're kind of like hanging down on her,
yes.
But ultimately, I think as you work with her, she's gonna be less like, get me out of here, because she hasn't really done that since we started working with her too much.
Okay.
So I think that that'll be helpful. But it's distributing pressure all the way around her neck instead of just one point. So you'll have some dogs that are really powerful.
Okay.
You'll have other handlers that are novice or really struggling with capturing the behavior, and then they're leaving our facility and they're going out and they're like, I don't really know what to do. So this kind of helps you get a lot of control fast. I think for most dogs, it's a safer collar if you get a really heavy puller, because they're not choking themselves out. You're gonna notice a significant difference in your, I call it power steering.
Okay.
So the slip leash is somewhat more difficult to handle a dog with because it's a piece of rope. And you're like, hey, animal, listen. So it's good, but it has limitations. And then using the prong collar is essentially like applying power steering if you didn't have it. And one thing about the prong collar is it gets a bad rap because people think that these are sharp and that's how you're training your dog, which is crazy and ludicrous. But I completely understand because it's a tool that people are predicating their opinion on them of never using them and also not knowing what they are. So we try to educate. Some trainers will say, hey, this is boom, you walk out.
Sure.
We try to really teach you what it is, where it comes from, who makes it, what kind of metal's in it. I try to teach people as much as I can. So, same thing, same exact action. The other benefit is this is a 4-foot leash. When you tie this on, it becomes like a 3.5-foot leash.
3.5.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is going to be nicer because you're going to have a little bit more play. So when using the prong collar, it typically becomes a safer, easier collar to use for most dog owners because you don't have to physically pull them around, if you will. Okay, break. All right, give it a go. So you'll take that leash, fold it right in half.
Got it.
And then go about your healing.
Okay.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Inside turn. Little bit, yep, now walk. Good.
Good heel.
And release that pressure, and then slow down just a little bit.
Good girl,
Yep,
Queenie.
good engagement.
Good heel.
Here, I want you to give this to her next time she looks at you like that.
Okay.
You don't have to break her, you're just gonna pay her and tell her good heel.
Good heel, Queen.
Turn inside. Now walk. Move.
Come
there
on.
you go.
Come.
Yeah, good.
Queen.
It's really nice.
Good girl.
Yep, there you go. Good heel.
Good heel,
Keep
Queenie.
walking. Yep. Release your pressure. Yep, good. Nice job. And slow down and stop.
Nice, Queen.
Yes, pay her. Good.
Good girl.
Good.
Now I have to get
Good.
this stuff, huh?
Well, it helps.
Oh,
Equipment
sure.
helps, right? You could build a house with a hammer and nails, or you can buy a power gun and
Sure.
right? Okay, give her a break.
Come on, break. Go
really,
ahead, honey.
Tools really help. Just as valuable as it is for a carpenter, it's just as valuable as a dog handler. Heel and break and leash pressure.
Will do.
Again, micro, macro. Micro is you're gonna have a dog that's gonna walk nicer and better
Sure.
on the leash. She's gonna be paying attention to you.
Yes.
She's gonna know when to work and when to not. But the bigger picture is it's going to help dissolve some of that anxiety and that stress of like, what do? I don't know what to do. Because the next session will teach you how to place and then stay.
Okay.
And she'll just be like, all right, I'll just come do this.
Gotcha.
It'll really start kind of trickling down. Look at this girl. You did so good. You did so good, baby. Chew it up. When you're healing, 10 steps and then break.
Okay.
If once you master that, 12 steps and then break. So don't go out and try to heal her for long periods of time around the neighborhood. You could bring her out for an hour, but only heal her for 20-second increments and then break. And your
Okay.
break can be as long as you want.
Okay.
But your heal has to be realistic and fair.